I've been watching this since I started writing my book. So the national debt clock is something that I've been following very closely. I don't think Don has been viewing me for a decade, so he doesn't realize that I was doing this. And in my book, I wrote on March 16th, 2007, Congress passed a bill to increase the ceiling on the national debt from 8.2 trillion to 9 trillion. These seem like such small numbers now.
They're like quaint numbers now, exactly.
Right. But as I'm writing this, just a few months later, the debt is already 8.98 trillion. And Congress has just approved the fifth increase on the debt ceiling in the last 6 years, raising it to 9.8 trillion. This 850 billion increase should last another few months, and it's entirely possible that the national debt could surpass 10 trillion by the end of 2008. Well, it was like 10.8 trillion. So I was being very conservative here in my book. When I read my book, actually, it sounded outrageous when I read it, and people are saying impossible, but everything turned out to be extremely conservative. When I go to the next page in the book here, talking about the national debt, I talk about unfunded liabilities. The national, but that's the national debt. Let me see. This means that a newborn baby in the U.S. Comes into the world owing approximately $30,000 back then. But that's only what the baby owes for our reckless deficit spending in the past, debt. What about the reckless deficit spending promised to future generations like Social Security and Medicare? Then there's a section on unfunded liabilities. And Michael Hodges used to run the grandfather economics report, just a very concerned grandfather, and he would add up all of these things. And Hodges, it says in here, Hodges has gone even further than analyzing debt as just unfunded liabilities. Instead, he's taken all of the state and local and government debt, household debt, business sector debt, plus financial sector debt, and added them all together. How big is the problem?
Before we continue, help us clicking that YouTube like button and subscribe now to our channel. This shows the algorithm that you valued this information, and it helps us spread that message. Sharing is caring. And now, let's continue.
It was then 160 trillion. That was a long time ago. And so that it means that even a newborn baby is born into the world owing $550 million. And then it says, "Welcome to the world, kid. Here's the bill."
We shouldn't be laughing at this, but
well, I mean, it's just insane. And these are numbers. I was writing this in 2006 or 2007. So this is 2007. And then I got a chance to revise some of the numbers just before the book came out, I think about April of 2008. And then, I did a 2015 update. And it's interesting, when we were filming Hidden Secrets of Money, I was standing under the national debt clock in New York City. And it's right above the IRS office there. So here's the place you pay your taxes, and then this is how fast the government is spending it. And then, and more, because it exceeds, this is the number up above that IRS office was the amount that exceeds, the cumulative amount that exceeded the amount that the IRS took in our taxes. And so anyway, we had, in the time it took to edit the episode, there was like $3 trillion more added to the national debt. And we had to go in, and Dan they did a brilliant job of it. I don't know if it was Aiden, it was probably Aiden that did this, but he pasted in the correct numbers over the numbers that were now $3 trillion out of date in the time it took us to edit that episode. So I want to go to the a chart that I just made of federal debt, total public debt. But this chart, it's quarterly information, and the last report is Q3 of last year. So they don't even have the 20, this wasn't up to $29 trillion yet, but it shows some of the insane growth. And if you look at the amount of this that is being funded by currency creation, you have to go to this chart that I generated called collateralization of currency.
I have bad news for you. If you're not rich by now, you're screwed. And if you're in debt, you're even double screwed. How so, you might wonder? Well, the sad truth is that you're working your whole life to make someone else rich. The mega corporations, the banks, the politicians, everyone is getting richer. They get your money. And what is even worse, they get your time, they get your life. You are not even in a rat race, you're in a financial prison. But what could a solution for you look like? Honestly, I don't know, but I know what a solution for me would look like. It's very simple. I use whatever money I have and I multiply it with 1,000. This could make my life much easier and probably yours as well. If you have $1,000 available and multiply this with 1,000, I believe that this could solve some financial issue for the one or the other. Of course, if you're ugly, you would have to multiply it with much more than 1,000. My name is Markus Dahn, and this is what I decided to do. I decided to 1000x my money. This is not a joke. I know what you may be thinking. What is this guy talking about? How should this work? This is not possible. Well, I made a detailed video where I laid out my plan. And some clever folks might even want to look at this plan and copy it and do exactly what I do. This is just a little hint on the side. You have two options. You leave, you forget what you have seen. You do whatever you're doing and you hope that somehow you get some other results. Good luck with that. Or you click the link below the video. You enter your email address because I'm not showing this to everybody. You at least watch my video on how I plan to 1000x my money. The choice is yours. Make the right choice. Join me. See what a different future you could have. See at least how I intend, how I plan to do the 1000x. So click on the link below, enter your email address, and I see you on the other side. Your Markus Dahn.